Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor, and I still can't get over the fact that Johnny actually got justice. This is so rare in this town and in this system, and I'm so excited to break this down with Christopher Melcher. Christopher, welcome back. So happy to have you. Are you as shocked as I am that this actually went as positively to Johnny as it did?
I am, and as a lawyer, I always prepare myself for the worst because court cases are unpredictable, particularly a jury trial. And, you know, and it's hard. As an advocate, you put your soul into that case, and we put our souls into Johnny's case and watching it, and we could see, you know, the good versus evil, the villain, the good guy. And we're like, this has to come out this way. But then it's like, wow, you know, you got to prepare for the unexpected. And so I was so relieved to see our justice system, our U.S. jury in action on very similar evidence than a UK judge had said was in Amber's favor. And now we have this U.S. jury saying, no, she's the abuser.
I mean, because so many people are using that UK against Johnny, but I don't know. I feel like it's way more impressive that he had a jury. 7 strangers made the verdict over one dude who, let's be clear, has some connections to Rupert Murdoch and the Sun, which makes the whole thing a little bit more interesting. It is a very big win for Johnny to have that jury come in. So bravo to everyone who's been involved in this campaign. Look, I can't say I'm surprised, though, to see that, yep, apparently Miss Heard is still planning to appeal the verdict in this case. So it's not yet over, guys. Now, look, we've talked about this before, Christopher. I actually don't know if the video we talked about this went up or not, but let's talk about it now. This is a hard thing for her to do, correct? This is not something that's going to be really easy for her to win. We've talked to other lawyers on this topic, but I guess before we get to what this actually entails, are you surprised Amber is doing an appeal?
No, this is right out of the playbook when you lose the case. When you lose the case, you know, there's the big headline, you lost, and then immediately the loser comes back to saying, appeal. I was wronged. I didn't get a fair trial. I'm the victim, you know, whatever. Blame, 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 blame. So then you have this counterbalance in the headlines to say, well, the case isn't over yet. She's not accepting it. She's going to exercise her right to appeal to try and take the sting out of it. So fine, that's a classic PR spin tactic that's used. But
you're so correct, because when they deny the appeal later, like they did, which usually doesn't get the press, right? Because it's sort of a very smart chess move to do right now to combat that negative press. Well said.
That's right. An appeal takes, you know, over a year, sometimes 2 years to resolve. It's a very lengthy process. She's not going to win an appeal because an appeal is not a retrial. They don't reweigh the evidence. It's a very confined view by a supervisory court that just says, was there some gigantic error here? Like the judge instructed the jury on the wrong law. That didn't happen. The judge allowed some evidence in that was so prejudicial to her that should never have been allowed, that was just totally illegal, inadmissible evidence. Didn't happen. Or excluded some of her evidence that was, you know, would have made the case go into a separate direction. I don't think that happened either. This judge ran a very tight ship. This judge knew what she was doing, and she was protecting the record. She was making it a fair process for both sides, no matter how it came out. And so there's not going to be, sure, she has a right to file an appeal, but it's a dead on arrival.
So you agree we should not worry about this. This is a very complicated process for her. There would have to be something extreme for her to actually win this. This is just a PR stunt in your mind.
It's headline. That's all
okay.
it is.
Who knows if she even does the appeal, right? That's what's interesting. Now, here's where things get interesting. And while I have you to continue this conversation, Amber made a statement. Now, we showed you this in our reaction video last night, and here was the statement. It's just very odd to me, and thanks to everybody who saw our corrected statement. That went super viral already, but we cut out all the nonsense and the lies to make it more fitting. But this is weird. I see a lot of people mention this too. Is this a smart move to do after you are just now, you know, lose for libel, for defamation, to come out and put more libel and potential slander out into the press. Now, I don't know if you read the comment, but disappointment I feel today is beyond words. I'm heartbroken that the mountain of evidence was still not enough to stand up to the disproportionate power, influence, and sway of my ex-husband. Again, is this not, could any of this, is what while I'm reading it, Christopher, what I want to know is, could any of this be used to go against her again to say, Your Honor, Judge, she is continuing to defame me. We already had a jury prove this. Here's more of it. I'm even more disappointed with what the verdict means for other women. It's a setback. It sets the clock back to when a woman who spoke up and spoke out could be publicly shamed and humiliated. It sets back the idea that violence it shouldn't be taken seriously. I believe Johnny's attorneys succeeded in getting the jury to overlook the key issue of freedom of speech and ignore evidence that was so conclusive that we won in the UK. I'm sad I lost this case, but I'm sadder that I still I have to seem I've lost a right I thought I had as an American to speak freely and openly. Now, the last part seem a little bit more careful, but is there something here that could be bad where he could say, yo, dude, you're doing it again. Enough. What is your thoughts here on this statement?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, there's inconsistencies. She herself sued for defamation. She sued Johnny Depp, claiming that his attorney, Adam Waldman, had made statements in the press about her. And so why is that, okay for her to do under the First Amendment, but the statement that she made is somehow protected under the First Amendment? So there's a huge inconsistency in her own statement here that it's like, well, why was it okay then for the jury to award $2 million in damages against Johnny Depp for a statement that was made in the press? So again, big inconsistency in how she's viewing right to speak. And then, look, I mean, yeah, she's basically rehashing some of the same stuff, but she is now talking about a court case, and it's a little bit different. There's some protections when you're talking about an active court case. And so I don't think that there's anything defamatory in here. Even if it were, he didn't suffer any damages because no one on earth other than her and her PR people would believe that any of this is true, and therefore he wouldn't suffer a dollar's worth of damages as a result of the statement.
Yeah, but I just, again, disappointed today. I feel today beyond my words. I'm heartbroken that my lies were not enough to stand up to the truth. I cut all this out. I believe Johnny's attorney succeeded. That's true. I'm sad I lost this case, but I'm sadder that still I lost a right that I thought I had as an American to lie freely and openly. I mean, honestly, I think that's what this really should read. This was a very frustrating response and shows, again, a lack of any accountability, all the things we expected from Amber Heard. Meanwhile, Johnny did a very, very good post pointing out the fact that, it's important that we not forget innocent until proven guilty, and just how inspiring and how others have come up forward that will, hopefully this will change things. And I really think it will. I'm not surprised to see Amber try to spin this like she does always, but you agree this is a monumental moment for sort of the way the tables are now turning, right? Of just, okay, yeah, I guess we really do need to hear all genders and we have to hear everybody. And yes, everybody has a right to due process. Do you feel like this will be a turning point for that?
Yeah, it's a victory not just for Johnny, it's also for justice. And to say we need to take our time to, look at the facts before we jump to conclusions about people. And that goes for all of us because we're all susceptible to that. And sure, we need to support people who come up and make accusations because it's very difficult to do, especially if it is against a powerful person. But we also have to respect the rights of the accused. And when the allegations turn out to be false, we need to support the accused, not the accuser. So it has big implications. And I think that's why so many people were behind this that aren't Johnny Depp fans, that they're fans of justice, that they're saying enough's enough, that you can't just cancel people based on an allegation. You can't just assume that all men are evil abusers. This is not true. So we're seeing kind of some rebalancing of things. But, I am concerned about Amber. I'm concerned just on a human level, concerned about her in the same way I'm concerned about Jussie Smollett and other people who have done things like this. Like, how do you recover? How and I would love to see that pathway for her. And I really think for both those individuals starts with, like you say, accountability. because otherwise this defines them for the rest of their life. They become an oddity and they can't move forward, and it's got to be debilitating for her to stick into this false victim mode for the rest of her life. So I would hope for her sake, just human to human, that she would find some way of moving beyond this. And I think it comes with saying, like, yeah, I messed up. Dr. Curry's right. I have a personality disorder that caused me to do these things, and I'm trying to get help. And people will come behind her then and saying, like, hey, go get some help, okay? But to sit here and saying I'm going to appeal and the jury is wrong and was influenced.
Everybody's wrong, Christopher.
It's just like she's stuck for the rest of her life if she's not going to move beyond it. And like I say, just on a human level, feel badly for her because I don't know what her life is.
Yeah, I showed some empathy for her as well, as because I've been in that dark place of being canceled. This is going to be times a million for her because I do believe this is a nuclear bomb on her career. No one's going to want to touch her with a 10-foot pole, Hollywood, anywhere. There are going to be some groups that were, there still are. There are some celebrities that have supported her, and Me Too movements that still are out there saying, believe all women. It's more important than anything else. She'll find some circles to go with, but look, I like you just said, I can't forgive her until she takes accountability, and I think it's going to be impossible for anybody, and she's not going to be able to find that path. And honestly, I think the key to that path is to actually genuinely take some ownership for the things you did wrong. I don't think she's capable, especially not right now. She's still in denial. I'm curious what you guys in the comments think. What is her path to redemption? Could she earn that? But in the meanwhile, I think it is an oddity, but it's all her own doing. Johnny, right? I mean, Johnny made a settlement. We talked about this. She went against that $7 million NDA divorce settlement. Why? Just to get more attention. He let it go. She was doing it then, and he said, "Fine enough." We even heard him on the tapes, like why are you doing this? Like, and she's like, they told me I had to. Blah, blah, blah. Like, there were months, right, years of this back and forth where Johnny tried so hard to stop this, and she couldn't stop. So it's hard to have. I feel you, and I'm with you. I was watching that when she reacted. It's brutal. It was brutal to see this. It's all sort of what we wanted, right? But then to watch it, yeah, she has a daughter. Who's watching the daughter right now? It makes me really nervous. It's a very good conversation. One we'll probably continue to talk about as we watch Amber and how she handles this. I think there is a path if she takes ownership and accountability. But do you really think she's gonna, based on what she just lied about on the stand?
No, you're right, Andy. It does go back years, because it's not just 2016 when she walked out of the courthouse with a fake bruise and false declaration to the court for a restraining order, and then gets a settlement and agrees not to talk about him, and then 2018 talks about him, and then here it is 4 years later, concocting a very grandiose story about him on the stand. So she has dug her hole deeper and deeper, and we can't do anything for somebody who won't do something for themselves. But again, feel bad for her, because it's just empathy. I just don't like to see people suffer, and most suffering is self-inflicted, at some level. But I don't see her path forward out of this. On the other hand, Johnny has a very bright path, and I think that path was always there, but he probably, maybe felt like he didn't want to move forward because he was saddled with so much pain because of what was going on. And, now obviously he's free of that. So I'm excited to see what he said in his letter, a new chapter that starts today.
Yeah, it's very exciting to see where that goes. I feel so happy for him. He must be so relieved. And I think some of those studios that signed off on him, Disney, Warner Brothers, I think they're sweating right now, realizing, damn, I guess we did jump the gun. And if he can able to sort of get Hollywood and others to realize, yeah, guys, we got to wait for due process to actually do it. There was no reason for them to fire him from that Fantastic Beasts movie. There wasn't. And then they have such selective firing on who they support and who they don't. I think Hollywood's got to start wising up to, just don't get involved until there's a criminal charge or something undisputable, right? On audio, we have to stop just assuming all allegations mean guilt. It's innocent until proven guilty, and that's what he just proved today. And Amber, I echo. I do feel bad, a little bit of bad. I do. At the same time, she dug her own hole, and she deserves to have some payment for it right now. And I think a lot of people are going to be okay with her suffering for a little bit, given all that she just lied. The community, the survivor community that she is still in her own letters trying to speak on behalf of other women. My God, the reactions to this, Christopher, are people are not okay with her reply, and they do not agree with her or think that she speaks for them. You know what I mean? So just a completely backwards approach here, but some are still going to believe. What do you guys think? Always a pleasure to have you, Christopher. Make sure you follow him on Twitter or YouTube. His links are right down there. I'll put them in the description as below. I want to have you back. There's going to be tons more we have to download on this. Which attorneys are going to benefit the most? Will Elaine ever work again? Plenty more we'll be talking about in future videos, so make sure to subscribe, hit that bell for all alerts, smash that like button. We will start pivoting to some other stories, but there's still some more we got to unpack on all this. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back with more here on Popcorn Planet.